What is up, everybody? In this tutorial series we will be making this sword that you see right here. This is completely hand painted, no generative textures whatsoever. We'll be going over the modeling process, the texture painting process, and we'll also be doing some photo editing for the texture itself so that we can give it more colors, give it different variations and whatnot, make it look cooler than it already looks. This is a bit more advanced than my other tutorials, so I do recommend that you have a basic understanding of both hand painting and Blender modeling before you dive into this. But as always, my DMs are always open on Discord and in the server as well, so please join that if you have any questions or suggestions for future videos or comments on my current videos, what can be improved, all of that. I'd love to hear it. So without further ado, we'll get right into the tutorial. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. This might be a bit confusing, I'll acknowledge that. But without further ado, again, let's get right into it. Alright, so I have the reference up on the left-hand side of the screen, or right-hand side of the screen, but for the sake of you guys following along, I'll put it up on the middle of the screen too. So I know that was a question I got asked a lot, like why do I have my references on the right instead of the middle? So we'll put it in the middle. Let me turn on screencast keys and we can just get started right away. Alright. Right off the bat, I'm gonna just go ahead and add in a cylinder. And I'll bump down the vertex count to maybe 12. Yeah, 12's fine. And I'll move it down. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and with the cylinder selected, I'm just going to go and move it up along the length of the handle. Maybe press Alt S to scale it outwards a bit. And I'll add a loop cut in the middle, bevel that, go into face select mode, Shift D to duplicate, press P to separate the selection, and then we're going to hide that and we're going to get rid of our geometry in our previous handle right there. We're going to unhide the little thing right there. And I'm going to bring it down and I'm going to press Alt S to scale it outwards along its normals, and I'm going to press Alt E to extrude it inwards along its normals. I'm going to go into X-ray mode. We have faces selected here. We're going to delete those faces. From here we'll select this loop of faces and just scale it down. We'll maybe bring this up again and that up, just like that. And we can duplicate this and bring it up to the top here. So we have our little, I don't know what they're called, the decorations, whatever you want to call it. We can actually add more geometry here and in the middle right here. We'll just scale it in to give that little concave effect. And we'll do the same thing here. So that those little pieces are causing the wrap to expand when they're there. We can duplicate it one more time, bring it down to the bottom here. We'll go into X-ray mode, bring this up, scale it out. What's going on right there? You have to go into front view. Alright, we'll select these faces and then scale it inwards. I might actually go ahead and move this back, and I'm going to delete this other side and just add a mirror modifier. Cool. Bring that down. Bring these in. Bring this in too. Gosh, if it would select, that'd be great. Just want to make sure our geometry is pretty decent here, so we can add our knife tool and just add triangles where we need to. There's nothing wrong with triangles, by the way. I know there's a lot of stigma against them, but like when you're making models like this that probably won't even be used in a game, there's absolutely nothing wrong with using triangles. So don't be afraid to use them. Okay, let's go on to the guard. Or we can work on the pommel. Yeah, let's do the pommel. I'm going to join these faces together. And these ones here. And those ones there. Just so that we have a surface. And we can also select these loops and merge them. We just double tap G to drag them out to the side, and we just merge them together. Just keep going. Alright, let's add in a cube. Set our cursor to that origin point right there. So let's add in a cube. Scale it down, obviously. We'll add a mirror modifier. Bring it down. We might have to mirror it on the y-axis. Okay, and we're going to rotate this 45 degrees on the z-axis. Then we're going to go into front view and then move it right there. Going to delete that face right there. Then we're going to just take our vertices and just join them together on the bottom right there. Make sure clipping is enabled for our mirror modifier. From there, we'll do the same thing with the outer vertices. Just move it out to make sure it's all nice. Cool. And we'll do the same thing with the inner vertices. And boom. That is the beginning stage of our pommel. We can delete this face here and then mirror it on the x-axis to kind of just make sure it's symmetrical on all sides. Let's see. I'll add a loop cut right there. And I'll take this vertex right here, press Ctrl-Shift-B to bevel it. And then I'll select this loop, scale it down, and then duplicate this, separate it, hide it, and clean this up. So we'll merge these at the center. I'll slide this to that, and then we'll delete this entire loop by pressing Dissolve Edges. We can unhide that piece now. And we'll add a vertex in the middle, knife cut, connect it, and then we'll bring it out. And then boom, that's our little spike at the bottom. Feathers now. Feathers. We should shade this smooth, shade that smooth, make sure everything is shaded smooth. Just press Auto Smooth or right click and select Auto Smooth. Let's do the feathers now. Those look like very, very thick feathers. Not sure how that's going to work for this, but we'll figure it out. I'll duplicate that. And then here, bring it down. We're just going to make a bit of a curvy shape for the feather. We'll merge those together and do that, and then that, and then we'll bring these in just like that. We'll rotate this to get that curve going. Let's join them together. Not a big deal. Okay, now we can generate faces, which is pretty simple. We just keep pressing F. We'll scale that, and we'll duplicate this, move it to the side, and we'll apply the mirror modifier. But then we're going to also delete this face, these faces, and then add a mirror modifier on the y-axis, or x-axis, sorry. So that just gets us that removes a mirror modifier, so we can now no longer have to worry about it only rotating on one side. So we got that. We want our origin to be at the 3D cursor, so we can go into Object, Set Origin, set it to 3D cursor, and we can mirror it on the y-axis. And then for our last feather on the bottom, we can make it smaller than that spike, enough to be somewhat like that. Cool. We might have to adjust the spike as well, so that the points don't like blend into the feather. Or, you know, it's fine if they do. It's not really a big deal. I do know that like the spike, like, the feathers are supposed to be like coming from it. They're basically supposed to be flat. But we'll make do with what we got here. It's not a huge deal. If we want to add the straps, we can literally just add 2 loop cuts there, select that loop, duplicate them, and then extrude them. And you rotate them. And we can delete the inner faces here. And bevel, or not bevel, slide the edges. And we'll slide this up. Okay. We can add those 2 straps too. We just have to remove the mirror modifier, but we'll get to that later. We're not going to be adding straps here physically. We're just going to be hand painting them, or I will be hand painting them. You can add them physically if you want by literally just following that exact same step. Something is going on here that's weird. I think it's the mirror modifier. Yeah. All right, so I'll have to delete these. Because we applied the mirror modifier to one of those objects, it still applies to the whole entire object, so we have to make sure that our geometry is able to support it. So let's make that stuff now. Let's add a cube again. Mirror modifier. We'll just move it along. Just block it out. Just like that. We'll add loop cut right there and a loop cut right there, and we'll select this face and bring it in, and then we'll select the face that generated from that again and bring it in, or extrude it, sorry, extrude it in the middle like that. We have to delete the face in the middle right there that's formed from that extrusion. From there we'll just select this face, or this set of faces. Actually, we'll add a loop cut through the middle and then mirror it to the other side. Then we can select these faces and just bring them in. Let's delete these faces here, unless, yeah, no, I won't delete them. I'll just select this loop, this edge loop right there, and just Alt S to scale it in. We'll have to adjust it, obviously, but Alt S to scale it in. And I guess we can actually do that for the entire loop here. Maybe not so much on the bottom. So we'll delete those faces and just Alt S to scale it out and in at the same time. Cool. Alrighty. Looking good so far. We'll just do a few quick adjustments. Just like that. What do we want to do now? Add a sharpness right there, and for those for the cloth, we'll just do the same thing we did with the other one. We'll select that loop, duplicate it, separate it, and then extrude it outwards. And we can add some additional geometry too. maybe some more curvature. And just increase the smoothness angle all the way. Extrude this in, those faces in, and we'll add a bevel on the side. We'll add curvature right there. And then we'll add a bevel in the middle, and then Alt S to scale this middle piece out. And we'll give ourselves some more surface area, because for stylized designs and geometry, you want to make sure that you have enough surface area to make those details with the paint. If you're going to hand paint it, it can be a bit difficult sometimes. Okay. Let's adjust this. We can add a loop cut through the middle there, and then double tap G, and then we can press E to align it to the surrounding geometry. We'll just slide this and add a knife tool right there. How do I want to do this? Add another loop cut and then align it to that, and then we'll just bring this one in, and then I'll scale this or drag it out. And will that work? Nah, it won't. I think we'll just have to do it like this. Perhaps like this. Maybe. Okay, cool. Alright, not looking bad. We'll need some adjustments, but nothing crazy. We'll have to adjust the cloth right there. Okay, we'll add that little gem thing, pendant, whatever, the jewel in the middle of it now. After we do some quick adjustments. Alright, cool. Some more adjustments. Alright, let's just duplicate one of the vertices and then separate it, and then we'll just select the vertex, and then we'll just trace along the outer part of the, or no, we'll do the inner part. Make sure clipping is enabled in our mirror modifier. We can hide this, and we'll just trace along. Okay, and we'll make the outer part of it Alright, now we'll go ahead and disable clipping, and then bring these out, and then enable clipping again. Do some quick adjustments. And we'll extrude them inwards, or we can add our faces first. Then we can extrude the outer part in. And then bring it all the way inwards to join them with the other mirrored part. And we want this one to be a bit thicker, a lot thicker. So we'll bring it outwards. And we'll hide this part of the sword as well. Alright, now we can just duplicate this outer loop, scale it inwards, press F to join them, or we can scale it inwards again with E to extrude, and then scale it out with Alt S. And we'll bring it down and bring it in, and we'll press E on this outer loop and then bring them to join each other, just like that. Just do some quick adjustments. Alright, we can actually just duplicate this spike that we made on the bottom here and just bring it up to the top, and then just do that. We'll have to disable clipping, and then just make the adjustments as necessary. You have to flatten this piece. And that too. And then cool. Okay. Onto the other parts of it. We can duplicate the spike again and then bring it up. Enable clipping. Uh-oh. Just like that. Now what we can do is we can scale this out a bit more, I think. Just to give us some more depth to work with. Just gonna scale that downwards just to condense it a bit. Okay, some quick other adjustments. How do we want to do it from here? I think we'll separate the clipping on this and then bring it out and then bring it in, just like that. All right, and now we'll make those little blocky parts. So we'll add another cube, scale it down, mirror modifier, bring it out on the y-axis, and then we'll rotate it. And just bring it out and just line it up with the actual reference. We'll add a mirror modifier on the x-axis here. Enable clipping, as usual. I will select this middle edge here and just bring it up. Knife tool. And then we'll select this vertex here and slide it down. Maybe flatten this as well. Alright, and now we'll bring this, we'll select this face. Maybe press Alt-S to scale it downwards. We'll select the face and then just extrude it down just like that. We'll move it inwards like this. We'll add a loop cut through the middle, another one there, and bring it inwards like that. Shade it smooth, and cool. That's that done. For this spike right here, we'll do is Control B to bevel. Or do that instead. I like that. Just adjust it real quick. Okay, Shift D, and then we'll add a loop cut through the middle and just bring it out just like that. I may need to add a loop cut right there and then bring it out like that. Then have the edge go over there and then bring that down. Make it a bit wider. Cool. Alright, that's that part done. Now we can work on the actual blade, or we can hit the feathers first real quick, just to get those out the way. We'll add more depth here. We'll select this face right here, or this edge right here, we'll separate it. Then we'll just trace along the feathers. Trace along the middle part first. We don't need to worry about those scratches and damage marks because we'll paint those in. Alright, just join everything in the end here. Alright, then we'll select this middle loop, disable clipping, and bring it out. And then bring this one out, and then that one out. And we have this. Let me see if I can visualize it better for you with the faces. It's got more of a curve to it. That's it. I don't know why I struggled trying to explain that. Let's smooth that out. Maybe make it a bit thicker. Okay, and we can just duplicate it and then scale it down. Make sure clipping is enabled first, and scale it down, and then move it to the top here. Just make sure it all goes into the model. We have to mark it sharp as well. Alright, last part is this bottom piece here. Oops. Make faces and disable clipping, then join them together with the curve. We can increase the smoothness angle as well. Oops. Alright, cool. That's the handle, or the part of the handle. We'll have to just make sure this is scaled out further. Quick edit over here. And we can also give this a bit more depth as well. Just like that. Let's do some quick adjustments on the bottom. Add a loop cut right there, and then another one there, and we'll deselect that, unselect that one, and then knife tool. Sharpness. And scale that in just so that that little sharp piece is still visible. We're going to need to do some quick adjustments to the spike there. Nothing crazy. Alright, let's hit the blade now. This should be pretty straightforward. We're just going to go ahead and add a plane in. Rotate it on the y-axis by 90 degrees. Loop cut through the middle. Delete one side of the faces. And then mirror it on the y-axis. Separate it. And then we'll delete this vertex here. And then we'll just start shaping up the flat part of it. Just like that. We can add some more vertices in the center of it as well. Might have to join those together. Alright, for the sake of surface area again, we'll just bring these out. And mirror these across the z-axis. And then we'll just extrude some vertices from the outside and then bring them together. And we can start shaping up the outside of the sword now. Outside of the sharp part of the blade, I should say. Alright, all the way up at the top. Now we can start adding in faces. Alright, now we can just extrude the middle. And then we'll select the middle loop and just extrude it inwards. And then we can press Alt-S to scale it inwards as well. Just like that. I'll do some quick adjustments to that. And then we'll be done with that part. Now we can work on that little middle part. We can shade it smooth. So we'll just select those loops, then we'll select the outer loop of them, just trace along it. Bring this out, and then bring it up, and then bring it down. We're just going to join the vertices together. sure everything is flat and even in terms of how flat it is. And we'll just join them together in the middle, just like that. For the crystals, we'll join that together, and then we'll just select this inner loop of faces, inner loop of edges, and then Shift D. We can also do the same thing for the bottom as well. Shift D, separate them, and work on them individually. Going to individual origins for pivot points so we can edit them individually. Let me press F. Oops. I just press F for each one individually on its own. Make sure we scale it out enough so that it covers any visible space. Alright, seems like we'll have to adjust this one. Right. Almost there. Alright, that's pretty much the basic gist of this sword. Some more adjustments will need to be made for just the sake of, making sure the model is actually good enough for hand painting. We'll go over all that stuff in the next video though. But generally speaking, this is all you really need to do. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully this was informative. Hopefully I didn't lose you. If you have any questions as to what I did, regarding different techniques or, add-ons that I may have used that you don't really know are an add-on, but whatever. Anything that I did that confused you, hit me up in the comment section and I'll get back to you whenever I can. But that's all. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya.